What's happening, everyone? I hope that everyone's had a very blessed weekend and that your Monday's off to a great start. Well, I'm your host, SchuZ Schumaker, and I'm at my home in Beverley, Arizona. And listen, trust me, I know football is back, and there are some goods or some bads, but no matter what, I promise you're not going to miss hearing from two of Dream Vision star players as we continue the great Dream Vision series. Trust me, you're not going to miss hearing from San Diego State star Matt Mitchell as he's going to come on and discuss playing for them as he's now an upperclassman as the go-to leading scorer. And you're not going to miss hearing from Pacific, one of their top new players coming in, and Pierre Crockrell. Well, trust me, it's going to be a great episode, but you're not going to miss staying up to date on the Dream Vision series, along with a whole lot of the stuff I got coming up, like the Compton Magic series, a lot of high school stuff, and a lot of commitment episodes. All that will be coming up in the future, so make sure to go and follow me at Zach Schumaker on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date. All that being said, though, I say we should get right into it. So, let's hop right in. I'm blessed to be able to welcome a 3-star guard, a top 50 point guard, former 3A state champion, and All-Washington first team in 2018 while attending Garfield High, former prolific prep and Dream Vision star, and Pacific commit Pierre Crockrell to the third episode of the Dream Vision series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good. Let's just jump right in now. I mean, obviously, you're getting ready to go to college, start playing. So why'd you originally decide to start commit there?
Once I took my official visit to Pacific, I committed late. I committed in June. I already had a relationship with the head coach, Damon Stoudemire. And when I took my visit, I just got to the campus, saw the schools, the facilities, and I already knew that playing for a point guard and playing for a head coach that was a point guard and played the same position I play, it was a no-brainer. So once I got to the campus and saw everything, that's when I committed.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's something that a lot of players, especially looking at committing now, are really being attracted to. I mean, being able to play with someone that's done what everyone's obviously dream is. I mean, obviously the first one's being able to play at college, but after that, you want to be able to play and make money off this. And so, I mean, being able to see guys that have done what you want to do is always something that's obviously always going to be attracting.
Definitely.
So what's something that you're the most excited for this upcoming season?
I would say what I'm most excited for is just being able to play college basketball. Just taking in everything and cherishing the moment of being able to play college basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, I mean, that's a dream that you always dream of getting able to attain at some point. I mean, just being able to step on that court for the first time can be a special feeling.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like once I step on the court, that's when it'll finally hit me. First game, just being able to play my first college basketball game, that'll definitely be special.
No doubt. So when you first saw the schedule, were there a couple games or was there one game that you circled that you're really looking forward to, either like a rivalry game or something where you're going to play one of your former friends or teammates?
The games that I've keyed into are probably Gonzaga, St. Mary's. You always want to beat those teams out of the top and you want to knock them off. Other games, you want to beat the schools that were recruiting you. You just want to prove a point.
Talk about your team and some of the guys that's going to be contributing to the team that are kind of going to lead the team along with you.
Some guys that I think will contribute to some leadership besides myself are Danish Jenkins. He's an incoming freshman too. Jonathan Salazar, who played with me at Dream Vision. Jalil Tripp, he's a senior. He was on the team last year. The culture has changed at Pacific. I feel like this year's team is closer. Coaches have tried to change the culture of how they want to do things. They want to do everything the right way. They don't want to take any shortcuts. So I think everyone's holding each other accountable.
Absolutely. I mean, that's always a big thing. That chemistry, lasts obviously for 4 years in terms with you and all that. So, just being able to establish that now and see what happens as you go through this year and obviously the rest of your career. So what have you really worked on and focused on and working on improving your game for this upcoming season?
What I've worked on the most is my body. Just being able to be in shape. At the point guard position, you have to be the most in shape person on the floor at all times. I want to be the most in shape where the coach won't have to take me out the game for being tired. So I just think I've been conditioning more, prevent injuries. If you're in shape, I've just been doing all the extra stuff in the weight room, doing extra stuff outside the weight room.
It's the long season. It does build up on your body by the end of the season. So, being able to stay in shape and stay healthy is obviously the key thing that keeps you through the whole season. This upcoming season, where do you see your role being and where do you think you're going to provide the most help for your team this year?
Being a guy that can do it on offense and the defensive side. Being a leader, a point guard has to be a leader. Knowing when to score, and knowing when to pass.
Absolutely.
And just managing the team.
Mm-hmm.
You got, as a point guard, you need to know when a guy on your team is hot, and when you need to feed him the ball, and when you need to actually go score and get a bucket. I want to take pride in defense this year and being able to lock my defender up. In college, that's what coaches stress the most, is if you can play defense and if you can guard your man.
You kind of remind a lot of people of like a Devin Dotson kind of guy. I mean, you're a little bit undersized, but like you know what's the right time. I mean, you obviously have the ability to go score at will, but at the same time, you know what's right. Like you said, getting the guy that's hot at the same time.
I mean, point guard, the hardest position. You have a good point guard, your team's going to be good.
Absolutely. What would you say in your life you kind of pride your game in the most?
Just knowing that I play hard every time I step on the court. I always know there's no problem with me playing hard. If my shot's not falling and I can't get to the bucket, I'm going to have a good attitude and pump my team up. And so that has a lot to do with also playing the point guard position. Is if it's not going your way, what else can you contribute? And so I feel like I always have that positive attitude, getting my guys going. If I'm having an off day. So I'll always know that I'll bring that energy of pumping my guys up and keeping them in the game.
Absolutely. So this upcoming season, where do you see your team? Like, what's the goals in the locker room? What do you guys want to achieve to kind of reach for this upcoming season?
Have a winning season, not a losing season, for one. And, I mean, every team's goal is to make it to the tournament and play in March Madness. So I always think big, and I know the coaches think big, and my teammates are thinking big. Knocking off the teams on the top and see how far we can go.
Absolutely, no doubt. When you're looking at all your different visits and looking at different schools, what you're kind of looking at that would separate them, or you looked at and you wanted this, and this, so that's like you know that's the right place to go.
I knew that I wanted to be on the West Coast, and I knew that I kind of wanted to be in California. Like, having a relationship with a coach before, like, the recruiting process started. Like, I knew my head coach when I was a freshman in high school before I could even started to get recruited. So I already knew what I was going to get from him. He could help me in numerous ways.
You originally started off at Prolific Prep, but then you decided to go to Garfield High. So talk about that transition and why you originally decided to go to Garfield High and kind of what your experience was while you're there.
It's crazy how it happened. I was just going back for a weekend just to see family and friends. And then I ended up playing in an all-star game out there. And I ended up getting like MVP of the all-star game. Like Brandon Roy, he was at Nathan Hale the year before that with the Porter brothers and PJ Fuller. And then he went back to his alma mater, which is Garfield. And, I mean, Garfield was great. We won a state championship. I got to play with Jerron Brooks, Jamon Kemp, PJ Fuller, Marjon Beauchamp as well. And so that team was loaded. We ended up winning a state championship, and then we qualified for Geico. We played Oak Hill our first game and we lost. But as a kid growing up and dreaming of always playing in the Tacoma Dome and Tacoma being the city I'm from, I always watched like the state championship, and I always wanted to be able to win a state championship. That's something that I'll always remember.
Any time, I mean, at any level. I mean, in high school, college, pros, I mean, being able to do something that represents where you're from is something that you can't really ever beat.
Exactly.
So then what kind of led you to go back to Prolific Prep and decide to start playing there for your final year?
I wanted to be able to get back into playing a national schedule. Everyone at Garfield, kind of crazy how it is, but everyone kind of went separate ways for whatever reason. I wanted to go back to playing prep school basketball for my senior year to prepare me for college. So I went back to Prolific. I was already familiar with everything at Prolific. It wasn't what I had in mind at first. I wanted to finish my senior year in Seattle, but ended up back at Prolific and played a national schedule, and it was great.
Absolutely. I mean, God always has crazy paths for everyone to kind of learn. I mean, you never really know what it is, and you might know way ahead of time, and you might know a couple of days or weeks leading up to it, but whatever it is, when you're finally able to like see the path and see what happens, I mean, it always turns out great, which is awesome to see.
And that's what I'm learning to learn. Everything happens for a reason. It's kind of crazy because I was going through the recruiting process as well. And so moving schools, on top of the recruiting process, it's like, man, this is stressful. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, God has a plan. Keep following this plan.
Absolutely. So, I mean, after you play your senior year, what was like the biggest thing you took away or one of the best experiences from playing at Prolific your senior year?
Being able to beat Spire in Ohio because they had a lot of hype. All the cameras on their side, all the fans are there to see them play, and you see like the highlights of them beating teams by like 40 and everything. But like that game, I felt like we all keyed in. We were all locked in so much that everything going our way the whole game on defense and offense. Like we were locked in from when we flew into Ohio. I think I'll remember that just because it was just a big game.
Absolutely. I mean, if you guys just came in and took care of business, it's like you're an underdog theoretically because of media. But when you have elite players like you guys have, and like a lot of these top teams have, anyone can win a game. I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes down to who is the best player and who wants to work the hardest.
Exactly.
So now let's hop in and talk about Dream Vision. So why did you originally decide to go play with Dream Vision?
I started playing with Dream Vision in like 7th, 8th grade, 7th grade, I think. My uncle, Clayton Williams, the owner of Dream Vision, he's the coach, the 17-year head coach. I knew that once I got to high school, I was eventually going to start playing for him, just growing up around him and the program. Once it first started, just being able to be around it from day one, I knew once I got to high school, that's who I was going to play for. So it wasn't like I had to like choose between AAU teams. I knew that that's who I'm going to play for.
Definitely. So now talk about some of your teammates on the team and some of the other guys that were part of Dream Vision.
Jonathan Salazar, he went to St. John Bosco. He's at Pacific with me right now. Ron Brooks, we played with each other every year throughout our high school career. Evan Batty, another one he's at University of Colorado. Jake Kyman, he's at UCLA. Julian Franklin at Oregon State. Matt Mitchell at San Diego State. Kyrie Walker, he's at Hillcrest. The list goes on. I mean, Dream Vision has a lot of talent.
Absolutely. So talk about some of your favorite parts or favorite memories that will always last from your time at Dream Vision.
Favorite memory would probably be when we all would go out to eat. It would take everybody out to eat. The 15s, 16s, 17s, parents, cousins, uncles, aunties, whoever was there. We'd on most of the trips, like we would go to like buffets and eat, like Golden Corral or somewhere. We'd be out somewhere out there down south, and we'd be at Golden Corral, and everyone's just eating, joking. So those are the memories that will always stick with me.
I think that's one of the best parts about AAU. I mean, anyone that's in that environment for any really sport, but I mean, just that's team chemistry. I mean, obviously playing the game is the part that you guys are all the best at. But I mean, off the course where you guys make the memory, able to go and just hang out with them and have fun at different places. I mean, you can't really beat that. I mean, that creates friendships that's going to last forever.
Yes, lifetime.
Some of the biggest impacts they've had on your life at being part of Dream Vision, rather from the coaches, just experience, or other teammates.
Creating a relationship with James Warren. He does a lot for Dream Vision. The relationship I built with him, it'll last forever. I go to him if I need advice. He's always been there for me.
So who in your life would you say has been your biggest role model?
My pops. He's always been there for me since day one. And he's always been there for me and my sister. So I felt like growing up with a dad that you knew your dad was going to be there for you. He was going to help you. He was going to give you confidence. He did a lot for me. So I would say my dad's my biggest role model, and I appreciate him for being there for me and my sister.
That's awesome. I mean, always having that parent or someone in your life that you can go to and kind of supports you and brings you to wherever you want to go. I mean, parents don't always get the most credit and the best credit ever. But I mean, the thing that they do for everyone to be able to reach what the dreams are is absolutely amazing. I mean, they're the part of the biggest reasons that everyone's able to achieve where they want to go.
Definitely. I mean, having both parents there, my mom and my dad, I feel like those two together are the reason why I'm able to play Division I college basketball. So having them there for me every day, knowing that they're there for me, I appreciate that, and I love them both.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I always like to wrap up with one thing. I mean, I always like talking about God because in my life, He's the most important thing. So, how in your life would you say God's helped you or helped provide for you in your career so far?
God's just always been there for me. Whenever I'm in a situation where I'm uncomfortable and I'm like, why? Why am I in this situation? Why is this happening? Why am I frustrated? Um, I feel like there's always a better day, and there's always a reason why that's happening, and there's something better ahead. So I would say God helped me a lot during the recruiting process. Just being stressed out and asking, why am I going through this process? Why is this happening? I felt like He's helped me get to where I am at the end of the day.
No matter which way anyone looks at it, I mean, everyone's path is so uniquely different. Just it's always something special. I mean, but you think about that, like one God created this all for everyone, which is something that, like I said before, I mean, when you're able to finally unlock and live through that career, I mean, there's so many trials and tribulations that we go through. When you're able to see the final project and the result, it's always something amazing. And you're just blessed and thankful to be in that situation.
Definitely. I'm blessed to be where I am today, and this wouldn't be possible without God, my parents, and my close family members. So I thank everybody.
Absolutely. Well, it's truly been great chopping up with you, my guy, and I can't wait to see what God's got in store for you while you're at Pacific and obviously for the rest of your career. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Coming up next, you're not going to miss hearing from one of Dream Vision's best players they've ever had. And he's also one of the top players and going to be the go-to guy for San Diego State this upcoming year. And Matt Mitchell. Trust me, you're not going to miss hearing what he has to say. His interview is coming up right after this. I couldn't be more excited than to welcome former 3-star and top 50 player out of California, former Press Enterprise High School Game Time Boys Basketball Player of the Year in 2016-17, while at Roosevelt High School, where he led them to win the first CIS state championship. 2019 All-First Team in the Swiss Pro-Am Summer League, former Dream Vision star, and now San Diego State Junior forward leader Matt Mitchell to the third episode of the Dream Vision series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you could come on.
Thank you.
So let's jump right in and talk about the upcoming season. I mean, obviously, a big year. You're an upperclassman now, and you've had 2 pretty solid years. So talk about some of the things that you're most excited for this upcoming year.
Man, I'm just excited just to see how our team plays out this year, and just how everybody has come to form over summer, and to see how all the work they've put in, and to see the new coaching staff. And just everything. Just the vibe is great. And everybody's looking forward to it.
That's awesome. So, I mean, when you first saw the schedule come out and you're starting to look at it, I mean, are there any games that really stand out to you, either because they're rivalries or you're playing some of your friends, or what are some of those games if there are any?
Of course, we have our rivalry game this year, BYU. So that'd be a big one for us. To go in there and try and steal one. I think one game for me that I circled on my calendar, the shootout in LA against Utah. I think that one would be a good one for us, a good challenge. Get Pac-12 notability, and hopefully and go in that neutral crowd and go get one.
No doubt. So, I mean, like you said, there's been some changes, and also talk about the team you've got right now and some of the guys that are going to help lead us alongside you.
Man, we have a lot of guys that can contribute, but I think some of the few key guys for us in newer faces, Malachi Flynn and KJ Fagan, those guys right there really come up and be able to fill the scoreboard up, as well as get looks in transition. And they're both 2 great guards, and they can help us down the long run, and with their notability and just their mindset of the game and everything they bring to the table would be great for us, as well as Jordan Shackle and Adam Seiko coming back as well. They'll be great contributors throughout the course of the game as well.
Absolutely. So another one thing that's been talked about a lot is your off-season diet plan. Talk a little about that and what the diet plan looked like and where you see this kind of helped your game so far to this point.
Well, my diet plan for me was just to kind of just cut a lot of the weight down, just to be able to be more agile and as agile as I was in high school. Just trying to bring that to the table and assist me in being more aggressive. My diet plan, it consisted of a lot
Mm-hmm.
before I got it tailored down to knowing exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it.
Okay.
But at first it was a lot of low carb, um, no carbs almost
Mm-hmm.
at times, uh, just to try and get my body used to feeding off of the proteins and the complex carbs.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So, I mean, you first kind of got to see, play some games and all over the summer, playing in the Pro-Am, the Swiss Pro-Am. So talk about that and what it was like playing, where you've kind of seen that help take your game to the next level.
The Swiss Pro Am, that was actually very good for me this summer. I felt because it helped me be a lot more aggressive in my game and allowed me to kind of control the flow of the game. Um, just for the fact that it's not like the Drew League and you don't have all the big names and just the whole politic game and all of that and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think just coming down and deciding to stay in San Diego and play for the Swiss just allowed me to play freely and work on my game and work to get better. And it was a great competition there as well, and that only helped further down the line because I'm playing against older guys and guys that are in college or playing overseas or trying to get a pro contract, and so these guys are playing to get better as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the biggest thing about the Swiss this summer, and I liked it, and I think I go back for a second year.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, I think those leagues have really become a lot more popular, and they're really key important. I mean, like you said, I mean, there's people from all different levels. I mean, and some of them, there even are some of the top high school players. But I mean, mostly it's like college players, former or current NBA guys, overseas guys, G League guys, and so on. I mean, so you get to see different competition at all the levels, and you kind of get to push yourself. It's just a way to stay in shape, but also still work on your game.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, what's one part of your game that you've really focused on trying to improve on for this upcoming season?
For me, it is ball handling and decision making. Just trying
Mm-hmm.
to know when to be aggressive, know when not to be aggressive, and when and how to pick my spots on the court and get to where I want to be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be great for me moving forward. Getting that down before season and being able to know in what type of place I want my teammates to be in, how I can get them open, and how I can capitalize off opportunities just throughout different defensive.
You're able to score out pretty much free will. I mean, you've had two pretty solid seasons. So, I mean, being able to add more and more parts to your game only make it more and more likely to make it to the next level like you want.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. So then, up this upcoming season, how do you see your role change, and what do you see that role being?
Being a little bit more of an aggressor, actually a
Okay.
lot of bit more of an aggressor. Seeing that we lost two of our top three scorers and me being the third last year, just me being able to come in and be aggressive and bring that leadership and kind of that seniority and speaking that I've been here and got to show new guys that this is how we work, this is how we do things, and trying to take that leadership role and ultimately just trying to help do anything for my team for us to get where we want to be by the end of the season.
No doubt. I mean, it's kind of a big thing, especially going into only your junior year where you still have potentially 2 more years left. I mean, to be the leader of the
Definitely.
team and going as most likely and probably is the best player on the team to go to score. So, I mean, being able to have that for one for sure, 1 year, possibly 2 years is going to be huge.
Definitely.
What do you say you pride yourself in the most as a player?
For me, it's trying to be the best two-way player on both the offense and defensive side. I want to be the best standout player. Know whether it's just getting in the stance and getting the stop or diving on the floor and making a hustle play or getting an assist on the other end.
Hmm.
I pride myself on being that best guy and by the end of the game having the best plus minus.
That's honestly one of the most crucial things in the NBA. I mean, when you talk about players, you don't really think of too many guys as two-way guys necessarily, even though a lot of them are, besides maybe like LeBron, Kawhi, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, the two-way people are always the most crucial things because you can rely on them no matter what side of the court you're playing on.
Definitely.
hmm So in your freshman year, you got a chance to go play in March Madness. Talk a little about that experience and what it was like, and some of the stuff you took away from that experience.
I went in there kind of starstruck my freshman year, just being able to be under the bright lights and for the first time and starting and being there was just a surreal feeling and an experience. But one thing I would take away from it is the fact that it's a privilege to be there, and that you got to realize and look back on all the hard work that you did put in to get there.
hmm
So for me, that's just like I got to see that and want to get back to that and want to have that feeling again.
hmm No doubt. So, like, when you look at this team this upcoming year, what are some of the things you see that you need to do to be able to get back to March Madness?
I think if we rebound the way we're supposed to and we play physical and we play hard and we get back to that Aztec basketball that's up and down the court and we're getting stops and we're getting out and getting the crowd into the game, I think it's going to be hard to stop us. And I think ultimately that and also playing together on the offensive end, of course, and being able to move the ball, everybody gets a touch, and everybody's eating well. Like, just all that combined can really do wonders for us.
Absolutely. So, have you guys kind of talked yet as a team and seen like what's some of the biggest goals? I mean, winning the division, going to March Madness, advancing March Madness. What's some of the goals you guys have set that you guys are trying to achieve this season?
Man, we want the conference title. We want the conference championship. We want to make it to the tournament, and not only make it to the tournament, but we want to win games as well. And ultimately, at the end of the season, win a national championship and do everything in our best efforts to get there.
Absolutely.
And, and I think if we do that and we take care of business, we can achieve all those.
For sure. I mean, definitely, like you said, I mean, it's a privilege to be able to be there. It's one of the most highest recognized things across the world in terms of sports, if not everything in the world. I mean, it's right there with the Super Bowl, this. I mean, it's one of those things that only so many teams get to make it, and it's truly a show that you never forget the rest of your life.
Definitely.
So why did you originally decide to go commit to Cal Fullerton?
At the time when I signed with Cal State Fullerton, just John Smith and Taylor and that whole coaching staff, they were just really family oriented, and they really genuinely cared. And I feel like at that time signing with them would have been my best bet because I didn't have a lot of offers, and so for me it was kind of like I had to pick early, and Cal State Fullerton was top of my list, and I felt like at the time when I signed with them, I felt like I could have reached my biggest and best opportunities and everything that I wanted to do in life.
No doubt. When you first got the offer to go play at San Diego State, did that kind of originally right away just open up and you wanted to re-look at other colleges, or was it kind of like you just knew you wanted to go right to San Diego State once you got that offer?
Reopened my recruiting and wanted to weigh my options and be able to play the spring and the summer out, travel ball wise, and decide from there. And San Diego State, they stuck in it for the long run, and I felt like they had my best bet.
Absolutely. So is there one kind of thing that really stood out to them, or was it just a whole lot of things that came together and you just knew it was a good fit?
I'd say the one thing is that they were extremely family oriented, and it was very close. Just the whole setup of having the family scenery around was that one thing that separated San Diego State from the other schools.
I think that's crucial, especially in athletics and sports. I mean, being able to have that family, like you said, the family oriented. I mean, to be able to like have that connection, because it's most likely, I mean, for very few players, it's one and done. But I mean, for the majority of guys, it's 2, 3, 4 years of your life. I mean, be able to have that connection with everyone, and go to war, with your brothers every day and game in and game out is something that it's true and truly important. It's something that not a lot of people look at, and that's why you also see a lot of people have to transfer in and out a lot. I mean, when you can truly have that family and you fit in, I mean, that's the best situation. hmm So when you reopened, were there other schools you're considering, or was it just kind of San Diego State, or was there other things?
Actually, the other school that I was considering before I had chosen San Diego State was Utah, and
Okay.
so that's kind of the reason why I want to circle Utah on my schedule
hmm
for
That's big time.
personal reasons. Personal reasons.
Mm-hmm. So was there kind of like when you first made your first commitment and then for your second commitment, were there kind of
Uh,
things you had on your checklist or your book that you kind of were looking at, like do they have this, do they not have this, or was it just kind of like you just wanted to see the feel of different schools?
um, no, I had a checklist of things that I went over um, with my family, things that we wanted to see in the school, things that we wanted to see in the community, the area. Um, so it was just it was everything. It wasn't just to reopen and sign with the whatever I think is best. I think we really sat down and weighed out our options.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. What's kind of your goal, or where do you want to be after college?
Man, after college, I hope to be playing somewhere, making money, playing
Mm-hmm.
basketball. Um, After that, uh, I wanna be a teacher. I want to be a history teacher. I want to be able to retire and be a history teacher and coach basketball and give back to communities.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's something that's a unique answer, but it's something that I think a lot of people have the feeling of wanting to get back, just in different ways and all. I mean, that's obviously what you get to be with kids throughout. I mean, day in and day out for almost an entire year, being able to influence them in all different ways.
Yes, sir.
hmm In terms of making the pros, what are some things that if they've either told you or some things that you just know you have to add or bring onto your game to be able to make it to that level?
Just for me, the weight loss. Other than that, it's just all the mental aspect of it and just having that work ethic to want to be there every day and just to have the love of the game
hmm
um, that they have and just the knowledge that they throw at you. You can just tell that they love the game. That this is what they want to do for the duration of the time they can do it. And
hmm
I think if I bring that along with me, I think the sky's the limit.
hmm Absolutely. So now let's hop in and talk about Dream Vision. So when you decided to go play for Dream Vision, what kind of stood out about them and why'd you decide to go play with them?
Actually, I was approached by Clayton Williams. I thought it was a great opportunity to jump into, just knowing the connections that they had, and knowing the program that they ran. That would have been my best bet to get to where I wanted to be. Also increase my Division One offers and ultimately get me to the right place. And that's exactly what they did. And I love my summer with them.
hmm No doubt. Let's talk about some of the teammates that were along with you during that year you played with them.
I played with Pierre Crockrell. I played with Kyrie Walker, Jerron Brooks, um, Brian Penn Johnson. Um, all good and exceptional basketball players. More than half of that team will probably one day be playing basketball for money, um,
hmm
and that's just the kind of program that they ran at Dream Vision. And it was airtight, and it was very talented. It wasn't just anybody that played for them, and I kind of like that, and I took pride in that.
hmm Most definitely. So what's some of the biggest memories, your favorite parts about being with Dream Vision that year?
My first couple months, just the fact that I was new and the travel and the spring training and just the whole trying to get the chemistry together and just coming together and trying to bond as a team and bond as a unit over a short amount of time. I think I've grown to appreciate the things in life that can teach you everyday life lessons, and I feel like that growth and those battles that we had throughout practice and throughout games really speak volumes to who we are now as people as well. And I really appreciate that.
No one ever talked about that. I mean, a lot of people just think about AAU as just the games and all, but that off the court time, the traveling, the hanging out with each other, I mean, that creates friendships and brotherhood that's never going to end. I mean, you guys could be well past being retired in different professions or whatever you guys might be doing, and you guys still going to always know each other and be close.
Exactly, exactly.
hmm So who would you say in your life has been your biggest role model?
My biggest role model in my life has been my dad. He just always pushed through in life, and he's always been there for me. He's always been there for me, my sister, my
hmm
mom. He never complains, and he's there. He's doing his job every day. He's being a dad every day, and he's never missed a step.
That's awesome. I mean, always having that person in your family or in your life that can always push you and provide and be able to allow you to do the things that you love is why people can become so successful. I always like to talk and end up with talking about God. I mean, He's obviously the most important thing in my life, but how would you say God's helped influence your life so far to this point? How He's helped you the most?
God has thrown obstacles in my life that normally people would fold, and
hmm
I've just done my best to stick by Him and know that everything He throws at me has a purpose, and knowing that and having that faith has made me stronger, and all the things that He's had me go through and had me endure to this day are blessings. Even the bad things are all blessings.
hmm I think you nailed that right there. I mean, there's so many things that I think a lot of people, that's some of the things that a lot of time they turn away from God because they don't necessarily know what's going to come on and they don't really trust him anymore. But it's always a path that God has a great destination point as long as we trust in him and continue to follow that path. And when we come to that path that he gives us rewards, it's truly something special that you look back and it just you realize how much stronger it's made you and the great path that's going to that's going to continue to bring you down.
Exactly, exactly. Right about
hmm
that.
Well, it's been great having you on today, my guy. Keep up the great work because I'm excited to see what God's got in store for you for the rest of your career at San Diego State and obviously from there on out. Best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless.
No problem. God bless. You already know what's coming up next. I'm going to go into SchuZ Zone where I'm going to recap some of the stuff that's gone down this past week that you guys might have heard about, or if not, the media has not covered it good enough. So I want to talk about it and get my thoughts about that. SchuZ Zone coming up right after this. All right, so let's hop right into SchuZ Zone. So the first thing, of course, FIBA qualifiers are going on right now. I mean, it's amazing. If I were you, I'd be getting up every morning to watch this stuff. I know I am. The games are absolutely fantastic. As for Team USA, well, they're undefeated. Now, there was a big scare against Turkey. That was a crazy game, went to overtime. USA honestly probably should have lost that game, but they came back, rebounded, and absolutely went to work the very next game. They're not going to keep going. I mean, they've already qualified for the Olympics now. Everyone's contributing in a massive way. It's an incredible team right now with the plan. They've really glued well together. I mean, when you put Coach Pop to something, good things come from it. And this is another one of those great instances. I mean, it's truly been a great thing to see how these guys have come. I mean, they truly have developed greatly in the past few weeks, and in the past week to be together. I mean, to be honest, it's absolutely incredible. The whole lot of other teams, Serbia's been putting on a show. Although they did lose the other day. Italy's been playing great. Hopefully, Canada gets in because if they have the potential to be an elite team that could knock off Team USA in the Olympics next year with Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, and company. I mean, Brandon Clark, we'll see what he can come out and do. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Shea Gilgeous Alexander, the list goes on. I mean, they can put together a full roster of NBA players. Right now, they only have two guys and a couple of guys that are former NBA players. But for the Brooklyn Nets, one of the most vital pieces in terms of their success for this upcoming season and for the rest of the future is Rodions Kurucs. And he was arrested for domestic violence, allegedly choking his ex-girlfriend. Now, if this is the case, he needs to be out of the NBA. Plain and simple. There's no room for this. This is complete garbage. But I don't know what my stance is on this. It happens so many times where these things get dismissed. There's no proof. Stuff is being made up. I don't know what the instance is. I truly do not know, and there's no way really for me to give my input on that 'cause I don't know. But I can say one thing: if this is false and just made up, it's heartbreaking. It's devastating. It ruins the potential truth for those that truly are affected by this. If it is true, once again, he needs to be out of the NBA right away, no matter what the success issue is, no matter what the issue is for Brooklyn Nets or the NBA, whatever it is, he needs to be out. I do hope it's not true. We'll hear later on what happens there. Now, the NBA has banned the Ninja headbands. Obviously, became famous off Jared Allen, his blocks he's had while he had that. De'Aaron Fox made it famous, and Jimmy Butler. Ben Simmons wore a couple games. I mean, it's became something famous. Joel Embiid. I mean, the list goes on. They're not banned. I do not know why. I think it's ridiculous. I don't understand it. This is a petty rule. Not sure why it was implied. Wasn't really made very media. It wasn't really promoted very highly, but it is a rule now. And if you agree with it or not, it is a rule. Now, Dwayne Wade is going to help LeBron James by working out, getting there early in the morning, working out before games with him. But he made it clear that he will not return to the NBA. He is retired. Obviously, you saw his Instagram post. You would know. Now, Pat Beverley. This man is a monster, an animal. He's crazy. And that's what I love about him. Pat Beverley, folks, if you didn't see his workout, he worked out on the beach in the sand. If that's not hard enough, he decided to go put Tim's on. Yeah, that's what makes him special. No matter what there is, he wants to go one step further. He doesn't care what it is. It's one more step. Another one, and another one, another one. If someone keeps trying to raise the bar, he's going to find another crazy way to beat them out. He'll never get outworked, and that's why you got to respect him. Now, Nene, he's now decided to resign with Houston for his 18th NBA season. Big props to him. I mean, he's putting together a heck of a career, being able to stay in the NBA for 18 years, something that not many people can do. So big time props to him. Finally, I want to wrap it off with Bobo. He's now signed a two-way deal. It's kind of shocking, to be honest. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully someday we'll see, but this can't be right. Something with his foot, something's got to be wrong, because the man is 7'3". The man can ball. And this might be the best. This is the best two-way play unless there is some devastating injury that we're not well aware of. That being said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm wrapping up SchuZ Zone. There's going to be so many things that possibly hit up in the future. You never know on SchuZ Zone, but trust me. There's so much big stuff, and you're not going to miss hearing from me. And what I always have to say is I'll close every episode with SchuZ Zone, where I wrap up some of the biggest topics that the media has not talked about enough yet. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today on SchuZ Views, episode 38. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Now, we got a couple more episodes left in the Dream Vision series. Probably going to be 2 more episodes. You're not going to want to miss that. Trust me, there's going to be some big-time episodes coming up in the near future. But I've got 3 things I'm trying to work on scheduling in terms of commitment episodes again next week as we prepare for the big Compton Magic series. I know everyone's been anticipating. I know I've been hyping it up, and you're not going to miss it. We've got guests such as Mikey Williams, Evan Mobley, Dalen Terry, Dre Harris. The list goes on, and you're not going to miss it. Trust me, it's going to be something special. Stay up to date on that. I'm also working, still putting out the great schedule for the breakdown, but only one way to stay up to date on all this. Go follow me at Zach Schumaker on Twitter, Instagram. Trust me, you're not going to miss it. Now, whatever platform you may be listening to this on, make sure to go and follow, like, subscribe, comment, give a 5-star review. Do whatever you can to continue to grow SchuZ Views. It's truly greatly appreciated. Now, we've got a lot of big announcements coming as well, so make sure to go follow me once again to stay up to date on all that. That being said, though, everyone, SchuZ is out. Everyone go be the light of God, and God bless.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.